In today's session, we are going to discuss about insolvency accounts. Before going into detail about insolvency account, first we shall know the meaning of insolvent. An insolvent is a one who is not able to pay his debt as and when they are due. Legally, a person can be called as an insolvent person only when an order of adjudication is passed against him by a competent court of law. According to the Insolvency Act, a person is said to be insolvent when he commits an act of insolvency. For example, when he refuses to discharge a debt of rupees 500 or more, when he transfers all his property to a third person to defeat a creditor, when he remains out of India, or when he departs from India, and when he departs from his dwelling house, or when he notifies his creditors that the payment has been suspended. In all these cases, the person may be termed as insolvent person. There are two acts which deals with insolvency. The first one is the Presidency Towns Insolvency Act, and the second one is Provincial Insolvency Act. The Presidency Towns Insolvency Act is applicable to Bombay, Madras and Calcutta, while the Provincial Insolvency Act is applicable to the rest of India. In order to know the insolvency of a person or a company or a firm, there are two different accounts being prepared. They are called as Statement of Affairs and Deficiency accounts. Statement of Affairs is prepared to know the amount of deficiency, while deficiency account is prepared to know the reason for such a deficiency. Now we shall see the format of Statement of Affairs. In the Statement of Affairs, in the left side you have liabilities and in the right side you have assets. Under the Statement of Affairs liabilities, you have unsecured creditors, fully secured creditors, partly secured creditors and preferential creditors. Where unsecured creditors are listed under list A, fully secured creditors are listed under list B, partly secured creditors are listed under list C, and preferential creditors are listed under list D. In the right hand side, you have property as per list E, where property are being recorded in the book value as well as in the realizable value. And book debts are listed under list F, and under the book debts you have good, doubtful and bad. While bills of exchange is listed under list G, and preferential creditors are listed under list D. The difference between the liabilities and assets are termed as deficiency account. Now, with regard to the deficiency account, under the deficiency account, you have excess of assets over liabilities, net profit, income or profit from other sources, deficiency as per Statement of Affairs, and in the right hand side you have excess of liabilities over the asset, net loss, bad debts, expenses incurred other than the usual expenses, and loss on realization of asset. Though we are sure of the format of Statement of Affairs and deficiency account, we must be clear with the different terms involved in the statement of affairs and deficiency account. The first item under the statement of affairs is unsecured creditors. So as we already discussed, unsecured creditors are listed under list A. Who are all are unsecured creditors? All the creditors who have no specific asset or those who have not given security while getting loan will be listed as unsecured creditors. For example, trade creditors, bills payable, bank overdraft, and when the creditor has obtained loan from his wife which is lent out of her Sridhan, when there are private liabilities, when there is contingent liabilities, that is bills discounted expected to be dishonored, and all outstanding expenses that is in excess of preferential creditor will be included in the unsecured creditors. So unsecured creditors under list A is prepared in this way. Now under the statement of affairs, the next creditor is fully secured creditors. So fully secured creditors will be listed under list B. So these creditors have securities, or they would have given securities whose realizable value is more than the loan and the outstanding interest. For example, if the creditors have given the security of rupees 15 lakhs and the loan value is 10 lakhs, they are termed as fully secured creditors. While with regard to the partly secured creditors, they are the creditors whose loan is more than the realizable value of the security. For example, the loan value is 15 lakhs and the realizable value is 10 lakhs. They are called as partly secured creditors. The next term is preferential creditors. There are certain unsecured creditors. Because of the provisions of the Insolvency Act, they have priority over the other creditors. Those creditors are called as preferential creditors. Any amount in excess of preferential creditors will be added to the unsecured creditors as per list A. So by now, I am sure we are sure of the term unsecured creditors, fully secured creditors, partly secured creditors. The next term is preferential creditors. With regard to the preferential creditors, the preferential creditors must be paid fully though they have no specific security. And this preferential creditors calculation differs according to the Presidency Towns Insolvency Act and Provincial Insolvency Act. Presidency towns here we mean Bombay, Delhi and Calcutta. The amount due to government, state or central or local when they come under Presidency Town Insolvency Act, the full amount is considered to be provincial and the full amount will be treated as preferential creditor. The same amount due to government, that is state or central or local, if they come under provincial insolvency also, the full amount is being credited or will be given. With regard to salary, in the case of Presidency Town Insolvency Act, the amount of salary will be calculated like they will be given 4 months salary or rupees 300 whichever is less for each person, while in the case of provincial, rupees 20 flat for each person is preferred. With regard to wages, 4 months wages or rupees 100 whichever is less for each person is preferential, and rupees 20 flat is given for each person if they are preferential. With regard to rent payable to landlord, 1 month's rent, whatever is the amount of preferential, is given under Presidency Town Insolvency Act. while in the case of Provincial Insolvency Act, the amount is nil.